Okay. Veganism. Veganism is something that has been presented to us online and in the media as something that can involve a lot of dieting, that involves a lot of meal prep, and honestly just seems kind of restrictive. However, I can tell you after 4+ years on a vegan lifestyle, I have never experienced more abundance, more positivity, and more flavor in my food than ever before. When we look at veganism online, we can sometimes think that we need to like inhale a block of tofu to get enough nutrients, or we can think that we need to eat 10 bananas a day to get enough energy. If you're new to my channel, by the way, welcome. And you know that I am all about listening to your body and eating an abundance of amazing, flavorful, plant-based food. In saying that, sometimes I do meal prep my lunch to take to work with me. Some days I sleep through my alarm and I don't have time for breakfast. Some days I wake up at 6 a.m. and I want to eat straight away. Sometimes I wake up and I'm not hungry until 10 a.m. Some days I eat junk food, some days I don't. Some days I eat kale, some days I don't. This video is everything that I ate in a week as a vegan, and I hope it shows you that veganism does not look the same every day. It doesn't even look the same every week, and most importantly, it doesn't look the same for everyone. If you're vegan and you're struggling, or if you're watching this and you're thinking of going vegan, know that anything that you ate before, you can eat vegan now, and you do not have to eat the way that other people eat online. It is all about listening to your body, nourishing your body, and enjoying food for the phenomenal gift that it is in this beautiful world. Okay, I think that is my intro / rant over. Let's get into the video. This is everything that I ate in a week as a vegan, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, Monday morning breakfast at 7:30 a.m. and we are starting with a smoothie. I made this one with some soy milk as well as some coconut yogurt, cacao and coconut protein, frozen bananas and frozen raspberries, and then I blended this all together in my Vitamix. Not sponsored whatsoever, but the Vitamix is genuinely like the best thing that I own, and I love it so much, and I really recommend it if you're looking to get like a really high-powered amazing blender. So yeah, that was breakfast. Moving on to morning tea, and at 10:30 a.m. I just had a couple of oranges. It's really starting to warm up here on the Gold Coast, so I'm starting to really crave fresh fruit quite a lot, and this went down an absolute treat. Then it was 1 p.m. and I was feeling some pasta. So I started by first of all boiling up some chickpea pasta, and then in a frying pan I fried up some broccolini in some oil and some salt. Once that was all fried together, I then put the cooked pasta as well as some sun-dried tomatoes into the pan, and that's literally what I had for lunch, those three things in a bowl. Then it was 5 p.m. and I went to my friend's housewarming party, and I put together this fully vegan platter, which I'm very, very proud of. I think it's beautiful, and it just had heaps of crackers and dips and fresh fruit and pickled vegetables. And then one of the guests also bought a couple of homemade vegan cheeses, and yeah, that was my dinner for Monday. Moving on to Tuesday, and I didn't eat until 10 a.m. because I slept through my alarm. I was running so late for work, and I just didn't have time. So at 10 a.m. at work, I had a vegan chocolate chip muffin, and then at 12 p.m. I had some avocado on toast. This just was a couple of pieces of sourdough with some avocado as well as some grilled lemon. If you like lemon with your avo toast, 10 out of 10 would recommend grilling for extra juice. Then at 7 p.m. I was with my friends Kia and Chantel, and on Tuesday nights we like to go for a walk and then cook dinner together. We made some pasta. If you're new to my channel, you may be able to tell by now that I do love me some pasta. So we just cooked up a whole bunch of gluten-free pasta. Then we served it with some greens, and then we made like this lentil and corn bolognese sort of mixture, which we put on top, and then also topped it with some nutritional yeast. And that was Tuesday. Moving on to Wednesday, and I started my day at 10 a.m. today, and I cut a couple of pieces of gluten-free bread, and I toasted this, and then very simply had some Nuttelex, which is a vegan butter, with some Vegemite, and yeah, that's what I was craving this morning, so of course that is what I decided to have for breakfast. Once it got to 1 p.m, I was really feeling something sweet, so decided to make myself a smoothie. This one was just some soy milk as well as some cacao and some protein and some coconut yogurt, and then I also added in some frozen raspberries and some frozen bananas, and then I blended this all together. As you can see, I love a good smoothie. I love a good, beautifully textured smoothie. I have mastered the art of it, if I do say so myself. Then for dinner this evening, I went to my friend Bonnie and Emily's house, and they made this amazing vegan pesto pasta. Yeah, we've eaten pasta literally every day so far, but this was a vegan pesto pasta with some roasted pumpkin and cherry tomatoes on top. Absolutely divine. Like, oh my goodness, thinking about this right now, I want it all over again. But yeah, that's what I had for dinner on Wednesday. And then afterwards we had some of this panna chocolate. We had chocolate ice cream, and then we had boysenberry ice cream, and that's what we had for dessert. Really good. The double chocolate one was definitely my favorite. Moving on to Thursday, and once again we are having some toast for breakfast, except this time the avocado kind. I just cut up half of an avocado, and then I put this onto a couple of pieces of gluten-free bread. I also put on some vegan mayonnaise, my current obsession, and I just smashed the avo on top of this, on top of the toast. Then I also put on some pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, and also some salt, and that was my breakfast on Thursday. Once it got to 11 a.m, I was feeling something sweet, so made a smoothie bowl with some soy milk, coconut yogurt, some protein, as well as frozen bananas and frozen raspberries. And then I also had some acai. It's that time of year where I'm gonna start eating acai bowls every single day. I blended this, and then I topped it with some of my homemade chocolate granola, as well as my current obsession, almond butter. It just genuinely is a superior nut butter. Let me know down below. Are you an almond butter kind of person? Are you a peanut butter kind of person? Let me know. Then I was getting it for the gram, and that is what I had for, I suppose, lunch. Then it got to 4:30 p.m. and I was really feeling like some tempeh. Chickpea tempeh by Organic Village is my absolute favorite. If you're not into like soy things, but you want to still eat something like higher in protein, I really recommend chickpea tempeh. I like to fry it up in a frying pan with some oil as well as some barbecue sauce. And then with this, I also fried up some cauliflower, which I had coated in some nutritional yeast and some salt. I let this fry up for a little while until it was nice and crispy. And whilst it was doing that, I put some spinach as well as some kale into a bowl with some avocado and some vegan mayonnaise and also some salt and some nutritional yeast. And then I massaged this all together. I really like doing this with greens to give them a nice flavor, so they're just much more enjoyable to eat. Then I put this into a bowl, and then I very simply topped it with my fried cauliflower as well as my fried tempeh. And yeah, that was a really nourishing early dinner, late lunch, afternoon tea, whatever you would like to call it. That evening I then went to a hairdresser's appointment, and at the hairdresser, they're amazing, and they also give you a little raw cake, so I had a cookies and cream raw cake. Moving on to Friday, and I had prepped my breakfast the night before because I knew that I was going to work the next day. So I prepped myself some overnight oats with some chia seeds, as well as some oats in a bowl, as well as some soy milk, some coconut yogurt, and then I also put in some passion fruit, some fresh berries, and some vanilla and mixed it together. If you're not following, by the way, I will leave the recipes for everything in this video down in the description box below, just in case you want to try them at home. So I mixed this all together, and then in the morning it had been nice and soaked. I left it in the fridge overnight, and then I very simply topped it with a drizzle of almond butter. And this was a really nourishing way to start the day, and it kept me really full for a big day at work. To work that day, I also took with me some spinach, gluten-free bread, avocado, vegan mayonnaise, and some chickpea tempeh, so that at work, the chefs, because I work in hospitality, the chefs could make me a really delicious sandwich to have for lunch. Whilst I was on lunch as well, my co-worker also gave me this snack of some almonds. I'm not usually a coffee kind of person, and these were dusted in espresso, but I really enjoyed them. I'm currently snacking on some of these as I edit this video as well. 10 out of 10 would recommend. That evening for dinner, I then started by first of all trying to fit greens into literally 3 different sized bowls because I simply couldn't get it right. And then I drizzled some with some olive oil as well as some salt, and then I massaged that all together. Oof, massaging your greens, I'm telling you, it's the way to go. Then I added on some nutritional yeast and I put this onto a baking tray to make some crispy kale. Crispy kale is just so good. Then into a frying pan, I put in some garlic with some oil and I cooked some pasta at the same time. Then I put in some lentils into the frying pan and I mixed all together. I then added in some tinned tomatoes. Tinned tomatoes, what a bargain. Can we just talk about how much of a bargain tinned tomatoes are? Okay, moving on. I'm mixing all of my pasta together. I'm mixing the sauce together. We're watching both things at once. It's a great time. Then into a bowl, I put my pasta as well as my bolognese mixture. And then I put some crispy kale on top as well as some nutritional yeast. That was my dinner. I also had about like half of this, like more, left over, and I just kept it to eat another day. Then we're moving on to Saturday at 8 a.m. and we're starting the day with pancakes, baby. Pancakes are something I am honestly still mastering the art of. So these were pretty good, but definitely not my best work. I do love adding coconut yogurt and maple syrup into my pancakes because I just feel like it gives it like a really beautiful texture and also makes it nice and naturally sweet. Anyway, I mixed these all of this mixture together, and then I put in some chocolate as well as some raspberries because I was making raspberry and chocolate pancakes. And yeah, then I mixed this all together until it was well combined. Again, the recipe will be down in the description box below if you'd like to try it. I flipped those pancakes, and once they were all nice and done and well put together, I then plated them up. I feel like I had 6 pancakes from memory. Am I right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am right. Okay, good for me. I then put some strawberries as well as some coconut yogurt and a drizzle of maple syrup on top, and that was breakfast for the day. Then it was 12:30 p.m. I'm ready for some savory food, and I put some cherry tomatoes with some oil and some salt onto a baking tray to roast in the oven. Whilst they were roasting, I got some of this Amazonia Tender Jack Smoky Barbecue jackfruit. Oh, I love jackfruit so much. I put this into a frying pan with a little bit of oil, and as you can see, it gets this like really meaty texture. Then in a bowl, I put some corn chips as well as my cherry tomatoes, my jackfruit, and then I put some guacamole on top. This was a really bizarre nacho dish, I'm fully aware of that, but it was so easy and so delicious. Then we move on to 7 p.m. and life hack, if you ever feel like you want a burger, but you don't have any patties on hand and you can't be bothered making any patties, roast some cauliflower and make cauliflower your patty, because that's exactly what I did this evening and it was absolutely divine. As you can see, I roasted a whole bunch of cauliflower here in some nutritional yeast and some salt and some oil, just so that I can then have cauliflower left over to eat with other meals in the rest of the week. Then I also cut up some sweet potato, and then I put some cumin as well as some oil and some salt and tossed that together, and then I baked that in the oven for like half an hour until they were nice and crispy. Once everything was all well cooked, I assembled my burger. We have a burger bun with some barbecue sauce, some crispy kale, some cauliflower, some vegan aioli, and a beautiful bun on top. Then on the side, I served with some sweet potato fries as well as some barbecue sauce drizzle, and oh my goodness, what a dinner. Sunday, 6 a.m. I'm up early. I'm actually making breakfast before work today, and I'm starting with a smoothie, super easy and on the go. This is my usual kind of smoothie, but I also added almond butter in because superior nut butter. like I've mentioned. And yeah, this is what I had for breakfast this morning, and I just took it on the go with me to work, which is really easy to do. Then it was 11:30 a.m. and no, this isn't filmed when I am at work. This is something that I filmed prior that I decided to take with me to work for lunch. I first of all cut up some potatoes and then I was boiling them, and whilst I was doing that I made some coconut bacon. The recipe will be down below. Coconut bacon, honestly, I'm not sure if it tastes like bacon. It just tastes really smoky and salty and really delicious to me, so that's why I like to eat it, and I like having crispy things with my meals. So yeah, I made some coconut bacon. I toasted it in the oven, which was really easy to do. And then once my potatoes were all boiled, I put them into a bowl with some spring onions as well as some corn. Then I also put in some vegan aioli as well as some Australian mustard, and then I mixed this together until it was really well combined. We're making potato salad, obviously. Oh, what a dream. I sprinkled some paprika on top, and then I put the coconut bacon bits on top. And that is what I took with me to work for lunch. And let me tell you, it went down an absolute treat. Then that afternoon when I got home from work, I was feeling super hungry straight away. So at 4 p.m. I made myself some early dinner, I suppose. I cut up some sweet potatoes into little circle pieces. This is a dish that I like to call sweet potato nachos, which is basically when you replace the corn chips with potatoes instead, which honestly is just an absolute dream. So I roasted those sweet potatoes in the oven, and while they were roasting, I fried up some black beans in a pan. And then when my sweet potatoes were done, I very simply put them into a bowl, put some black beans on top, as well as some homemade guacamole, and then some vegan aioli on top as well. Super simple dinner, absolutely delicious, 10 out of 10 would recommend. And then it was the end of my week, and at 6:30 p.m. I had some ice cream, and that was it. Thank you for being here, thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.